input schemes as the country starts preparations for the summer cropping season. Stay tuned to extract from his speech at the 26th ordinary session of the National Consultative Assembly at the meeting that was held in Harare today. Earlier today, President Mnangagwa met Afreximbank President and Board Chairman Dr. George Ilombi at State House, where the two discussed ongoing regional development projects and Zimbabwe's industrialization agenda. More details on that meeting coming up on Newsplus. Central government has urged cities and towns to clean up and improve their waste management systems. Stay tuned for Local Government Minister Daniel Garu's ultimatum to local authorities. And in sport, we shall be crossing over to proceedings at the 2025 Castle Premier Soccer League Soccer Stars of the Year banquet. We have our team there on standby with updates for us. It is a good evening. Thank you very much for joining us on Newsplus. We'll start with President Emmerson Mnangagwa, who has reiterated that government is committed to supporting the agriculture sector ahead of this farming season, noting that the distribution of inputs is ongoing. And in his opening remarks at the 26th ordinary session of the National Consultative Assembly meeting in Harare today, President Mnangagwa commended farmers for the collective efforts to strengthening food systems, while also warning those responsible for the distribution of farming inputs to desist from corruption tendencies.
I want to reiterate that all inputs must reach our farmers and benefit all our communities. We should not be selective. Ndonzwa kuti kumwe vamwe vashandi ve-agritech kumatunu vari kunyima vanhu mbeu. Saka Ministry ye-Agriculture ngaigadzirise izvozvo. Mbeu yenyika ngaisvike kuruzhinji rweZimbabwe.
Now, the president also cautioned party members to never let the guard down, but remain alert, vigilant, and focused on organizing and mobilizing more people to join the party. Now, he warned against sideshows, misinformation, and falsehoods peddled by detractors to distract the nation from the core objective of realizing Vision 2030.
Let us, however, remain vigilant against those who may attempt to undermine our country's progress, our economy, and our national image. So far, we have successfully completed the implementation of the National Development Strategy 1, which scored success milestones in all sectors of the economy. The National Development Strategy 2 has been launched.
Now, earlier today, President Emmerson Mnangagwa also met Afreximbank President and Board Chairman Dr. George Ilombi at State House, where the two discussed ongoing regional development projects and Zimbabwe's industrialization agenda. Ibn Mabunda was at State House.
Now, President Emmerson Mnangagwa received at the State House the incoming President and Board Chair of Afreximbank, Dr. George Ilombi, in a move aimed at fortifying domestic as well as regional investment and trade. The two held a closed-door meeting focused on strengthening cooperation between Zimbabwe and the continental lender. Dr. Ilombi, who assumed the presidency of Afreximbank in October, said the engagement reaffirmed the bank's commitment to supporting Zimbabwe's industrialization and regional trade initiatives.
You see, it was about an hour, so it was an extensive discussion, but all focused on economic affairs, entirely on the economic field. As you know, Afreximbank has been in Zimbabwe, strongly supporting the country for a very long time. So we came to discuss with the head of state what areas of support.
The bank is currently financing multiple initiatives to enhance regional trade and industrialization, including the lender's flagship African Trade Center, now nearing completion in the capital. At the intersection of Herbert Chitepo Avenue and 7th Street in Harare, construction of the center is now 95% complete. The $100 million facility will house Afreximbank's Southern Africa Regional Office, a hotel, a conference center, and a trade information hub.
First of all, the Intra-African Trade Fair head office, it's been decided in Afreximbank that it should be located here in Zim. The center is created here, the headquarters are built, the trade fairs begin to be organized, and that implies obviously that we have to construct a massive, several hectareage, maybe 200 hectares of space needed.
Beyond infrastructure, discussions also focused on advancing industrialization across the region, particularly in mineral beneficiation and value addition, a key pillar of Zimbabwe's economic strategy.
One of the items we discussed in relation to that particular topic with the head of state was the question of processing local. We can no longer continue to export the minerals raw. And this time in Afreximbank, we mean it. We have the money, we can find the expertise.
Dr. Ilombe's visit marks a continuation of Afreximbank's deepening engagement with Zimbabwe as the country positions itself as a regional trade and industrial hub. Zimbabwe's engagement and re-engagement agenda continues with a thrust on investment. Reporting for ZTN Prime, I'm Eben Mabunda, State House.
Now, President Emmerson Mnangagwa handed over vehicles to the ZANU-PF Women's League and Young Women for ED at State House in Harare today. The package also included financial support for women's entrepreneur projects. Let's get more in the following report.
At the State House in Harare, President Emmerson Mnangagwa handed over 21 vehicles to the ZANU-PF Women's League and Young Women for ED, a move he says is part of efforts to strengthen women's participation in national development. The president also disbursed $500,000 to support women-led entrepreneurial projects within the party structures. He said empowering women with tools of production, mobility and capital is key to accelerating community-level transformation.
Group $500,500.
The event drew senior party officials and women from across provinces who described the gesture as a significant boost for organizing, mobilization and economic participation.
Asinasi zvativhundutsa kunzi tisi takupiwawo tichipiwa mikwende yakadai nevana wedu asikana vechidiki young women aiho zvinoreva kuti isu ndisu tinofanira kuramba takamira nababa 2030 yacho ndisu tichaisumudza kudai.
The support is expected to enhance the work of women's structures both in urban and rural areas, with beneficiaries encouraged to use their vehicles and funds responsibly to advance development programs.
Andoda kunditende zvakare taimpawiwa zvakare nemari ichaenda iyo kuma provinces kwedu. Ndoda kunditende kuti iye zvino tine ma projects atiri kuita ehuku, tine ma projects atiri kuita embudzi, ma projects enguruve atiri kuita kuma provinces kwese. So nokuimpawa kwataita uku ndoda kunditende President Mnangagwa nekuti zvakuita kuti isu tirambe tichienderera mberi nemabasa atiri kuita.
The recipients say the empowerment package will strengthen their outreach programs and help scale up income-generating projects in communities across the country.
Now, in other news, Zim Papers is committed to closing the skills gap in an ever-evolving job market through its flagship training arm, the Zim Papers Training Institute, ZTI. And today, 40 students graduated in key industry programs, including graphic design, digital marketing, sound engineering, and data analytics for business.
For 13-year-old Mvarondoro, the journey has been both inspiring and transformative. A recipient of the General Manager Special Prize, Mufaro says Zim Papers Training Institute has opened doors she never imagined, turning her creativity into a tool for growth and family empowerment. She graduated with a certificate in graphic design and believes that the skills she has gained will help her support her family business through professional logo and flyer design.
This knowledge of graphic design, I'm planning to design logos, flyers, banners for my parents and for our company, for us to progress.
It's the balance between theory and application that sets ZTI apart. The Institute's curriculum is designed to ensure that all learners do not just absorb knowledge, but apply it through real-world projects that sharpen both technical and problem-solving abilities.
I've learned the fundamentals of digital marketing, which includes search engine optimization, content creation, analytics, etc. Well, I've gained hands-on Facebook ads and Google Analytics.
Zimpaper's Digital and Publishing General Manager, Mnyaradzi Hatendi, said ZTI graduates are stepping into a market with confidence and relevance, armed with skills that make them valuable across multiple industries.
Whether you've mastered the art of visual communication, or understood the power of digital platforms, or explored the dynamics of sound production, or learned how to drive modern business decisions, each of you has taken an important step towards becoming industry-ready professionals.
Acting Group Editorial Executive Elias Mambo emphasized that Zimpaper's investment in the state-of-the-art facilities and equipment ensures that learning remains practical, industry-aligned, and globally competitive. He encouraged graduates to use their newly acquired skills to innovate, build businesses, and position themselves as leaders in their professions.
Over the past months, you have engaged deeply with your craft, learning not just the technical skills required, but also the essence of storytelling, ethics, and resilience. You have formed connections with your peers and mentors, and these relationships will undoubtedly continue to enrich your careers in the years.
Beyond short courses, ZTI also offers full national diploma programs accredited by the HESCO, including print and broadcast journalism, radio, television, and film production, as well as digital marketing. For ZTM Prime, I am Mashudu Mambo in Harare.
Now, the government has urged local authorities to urgently improve waste management and overall service delivery. And speaking in Bulawayo this afternoon, a local government minister, Daniel Garwe, warned that poor standards are tarnishing the country's image. And he urged councils and residents to take greater pride in their communities. He was addressing executives from the city of Bulawayo and Umgoza Rural District Council during a meeting that was aimed at assessing progress on service delivery goals earlier today.
As you would agree, poor waste management is a ticking time bomb from a health, citizen well-being and economic perspective, particularly given the almost perennial hygiene-related disease outbreaks witnessed across the country. This can never be acceptable nor be allowed to persist any longer, and the time to act is now. Indeed, the great modern cities referred to above have, through innovative strategies, further turn the huge challenge of waste into a valuable resource that contributes significantly to economic development and cleaner environment. This includes recycling, waste-to-energy plants, amongst others. To this end, ladies and gentlemen, the applicable laws and regulations.
Now, he also expressed concern over issues such as open burning, damaged skip bins, clogged drains and potholes, and called for urgent action ahead of the rainy season.
The ministry, working together with local authorities leadership, will immediately begin to coordinate a phased approach towards transforming waste management in urban centers through engaging in sustainable and long-term PPP arrangements. The first phase will, in addition to the city of Harare, onboard all the 8 cities, that is Bulawayo, Mutare, Gweru, Mashingo, Victoria Falls, Kadoma, and Kwekwe. The identified cities are expected to undertake an assessment of their waste chain to determine the first areas of partnership, with a gradual inclination towards a comprehensive waste management cycle from collection to management. I am glad that Bulawayo City Council has started on that trajectory.
Authorities to enforce load limits on trucks using key routes. That story coming up.
Is your company reshaping Zimbabwe's future? Have you launched a groundbreaking product, a revolutionary service, or transformative technology? Zim Papers calls on you to nominate your innovation for the inaugural and prestigious Zim Papers Innovation Awards 2025. This is your platform, your moment to gain national acclaim and showcase how you are moving Zimbabwe forward. Don't just be an innovator, be a vanguard of progress. Nominate yourself or a deserving company now at innovation.awards@zimpapers.co.zw. Nominations close on 30 December 2025. Zim Papers Innovation Awards 2025. Championing the ideas that move us forward.
Didn't graduate. I guess I blew it.
You couldn't advise him anything. He would just look at you and say, so who do you think you are?
We were just like really spoiled.
And then they just give me the receipt and I'd pay.
The guy walks in one day and then he says that he wants to make a movie.
He was blowing the money.
There was just like this habit that he had where as soon as he got money, it was gone.
I just didn't have the skills or the experience.
This money, I could see it disappear so fast.
Welcome back. You are still watching Friday's Bulletin. Now, picking up from where we left off, authorities have called for strong measures to prevent overloaded trucks using key routes, including the Victoria Falls corridor, once open to traffic. Now, the route is currently under rehabilitation, which is expected to be completed in the last quarter of 2026. These concerns were raised during a route tour held on Thursday.
It was a popular request met with urgent attention. An appeal by the public to rehabilitate Bulawayo Victoria Falls Road, driven by challenging road conditions in some parts of the road, which affected travel time. It was then that the Ministry of Transport shifted the road's rehabilitation timeline from 2026 to 2025.
This road was actually earmarked to be done next year because, we are doing project-based budgeting now. Yes. But because of the cries that came out, we had to move in quickly, do the tender processes, and we now have contractors on the ground who have started moving.
The Bulawayo Victoria Falls Road is a major economic corridor supporting both tourism and mining. Some of the haulage trucks used in mining often travel along this route, and many are non-compliant to the load restrictions. Now, this non-compliance then accelerates the deterioration of this route.
Usually, our trucks should be 30 tons, but others they do their extension to the trailers. So that maybe they carry 40 or 45 tons, which is illegal. So that's why we want VID to chip in. We put up weighbridge all over so that they don't do that.
Most construction companies working along the route have already completed at least 5 kilometers of their allocated 50 kilometers. Progress is expected to continue through the holiday season, weather permitting. Online, some members of the public have questioned the construction methods being used, expressing concerns about the durability of the road. We asked one of the project engineers from Fossil, Kudakwashe Maguta, to explain the process for us.
Widening the road to the level of the existing road, we are then putting a new base, one layer, which we are stabilizing with 3% cement to achieve what is called a C3 base. And on top of that C3 base, we are putting prime, and then we put spray and chip, the one we are standing on right now. The double seal of 10 millimeter stone and 19 millimeter stone, using 70/100 bitumen.
Some sections of this road will undergo full upgrade at a later stage. For now, all these areas will be widened and pothole patched to improve the traffic flow. And all the contractors are optimistic, and they're saying that their target is within reach, with projections indicating that this project could be completed towards the end of 2026. For ZTN Prime, I am Setachisiwe Gwaza in Wange.
Now, still on our top stories, Zimbabwe is taking a major step in restoring its forests. A new plant tissue culture laboratory, the first of its kind in Zimbabwe, has been officially commissioned and is designed to produce up to 1 million seedlings a year. Faith Nyaude reports.
This might just seem like an ordinary room, but in here is the laboratory, the plant tissue culture, which is set to produce more than 1 million seedlings of trees a year. This will ensure more tree varieties, no matter the season, no matter the time of year, to ensure that our forests are replenished. The facility, a partnership between the Forestry Commission, UNDP, the Global Environment Facility, and the University of Zimbabwe, is expected to change the way Zimbabwe produces seedlings. It will focus on indigenous, medicinal, and slow-growing tree species, helping to restore forests under pressure from climate change, land degradation, and unsustainable harvesting. The Minister of Environment, Evelyn Ndlovu, said the lab is critical as demand for seedlings continues to outstrip supply even during national tree planting drives.
Climate change, land degradation, and unsustainable harvesting have placed further pressure on our forest resources. Against this background, the establishment of the Advanced Biotechnology Facility is both timely and visionary.
The lab has been hailed as a game changer. Tissue culture technology allows thousands of seedlings to be produced from a single parent plant, protecting endangered and slow-growing species.
Through micropropagation, which is the process that is carried out in other tissue culture, we are now able to rapidly multiply elite genotypes from a single parent plant to produce genetically uniform, disease-free and physiologically superior seedling for restoration.
Previously, research on tissue culture technology was focused on the agricultural sector, but now the diversification into trees is being viewed as revolutionary.
Which is Zimbabwe's first specialized facility for tree species tissue culture, aimed at promoting modern forest biotechnology, advancing conservation science, and supporting climate resilient reforestation efforts.
The lab is designed to ensure that there is a constant supply of tree seedlings, which will see tree planting happening all year round.
It will play a critical role in supporting national restoration programs, conserving threatened species, and strengthening our ability to meet climate and biodiversity commitments.
Zimbabwe is estimated to be losing approximately 262,000 hectares of forests per year to deforestation, according to some recent figures from the country's Forestry Commission. And this is one of the many measures to remedy the situation. Reporting for ZTN Prime, I'm Faith Nyaude in Harare.
Now, in other news, climate resilience projects underway in Mount Darwin are receiving strong community support. And government and local partners have stepped up efforts to protect pregnant women and infants from the rising temperatures that are linked to climate change. Let's get more in the following report.
In one of Zimbabwe's most heat-vulnerable districts, Mount Darwin, a new initiative is helping communities adapt to dangerous temperatures. The heat adaptation for pregnant women and infants, known as HAPPY, is being piloted through a partnership between the Ministry of Health and Childcare and Social Zimbabwe. The program includes the establishment of community woodlots and upgrades to rural health facilities covering Mount Darwin District Hospital and areas such as Lotito and Chitse. Part of HAPPY's work involves the creation of carbon woodlots designed to combat deforestation, improve nutrition, and help households prepare for future participation in carbon markets. Village head Freddy Magutakona has commended the project, saying the intervention is already easing pressure on vulnerable households.
nevakazvitakura nevari munharaunda zvinobatsirika kuti miti inenge yadyarwa inotibatsira zvakawanda. Mweya watinofema tinowana kurarama mumiti iyoyo, kuva nemapango ekuvakisa dzimba, huni.
Villagers have donated more than 22 hectares of land, with a 2-hectare demonstration site already being established. Plans are to replicate the model across Zimbabwe.
The current status in Mount Darwin is that we have a large majority of farmers who rely on these wood products or timber products to cure their tobacco. And this is the adverse effect on climate change, as this limits the amount of carbon sequestration that can happen in the area. So this project comes into play where we're trying to reduce carbon emissions and also encourage the community to be self-sustaining in terms of their project and livelihoods.
The woodlots form part of a broader effort to improve nutrition, strengthen livelihoods, and prepare communities to participate in future carbon markets.
The idea is to have carbon woodlot sites that are scalable and can go across Africa and across Zimbabwe.
Health facilities in the districts are also receiving upgrades to better protect pregnant women and newborns from extreme heat. District Medical Officer Dr. George Mapuye says Zimbabwe must continue strengthening its own climate health responses, emphasizing that local solutions are key.
Adapt using our own local means. Nobody is going to come to adapt to us, to put change for us, but we have to learn to do it ourselves.
The Happy Project is aligned with the Harare Declaration on Climate and Health for Africa, adopted at last year's Climate and Health Africa Conference. For ZTN Prime, I am Talent Gori.
We'll still have a lot coming up on Newsplus this hour. Stay tuned. Zimbabwe's cannabis industry is taking a decisive turn towards value addition, with government calling on licensed producers to shift from merely growing the crop to fully processing it into high-value products. And now Lands, Agriculture, Fisheries, Water and Rural Development Minister Dr. Anxious Masuka delivered this message during a tour of a cannabis project in Bulawayo.
Government says Zimbabwe's cannabis sector is entering a new phase, one anchored on industrialization, innovation, and high-value processing. During a tour of Mike Cole's cannabis production facility at Tatauhle Farm in Bulawayo, Minister Dr. Anxious Masuka said the future of the crop lies in value addition and beneficiation, not the sale of raw flowers.
The intention, of course, is to do value addition and beneficiation, so that rhymes with the President, His Excellency Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa's thrust under the Agriculture, Food Systems and Rural Transformation Strategy to have a value chain approach. Because as we all know, the value is at the subsequent nodes of the value chain. And I've seen here that they are also collaborating with successful enterprises in South Africa.
The minister said selling unprocessed cannabis exposes growers to low prices and middlemen, while processed oils, concentrates, medicines, and industrial products fetch far higher returns. He urged established farmers to set up training schools to bring more youth and women into the sector, adding that government is strengthening policy frameworks to regulate and grow the industry.
New industrial crops, as we call them, and as government, we've put up structures and institutions to be able to support farmers to create the regulatory and policy environment that is required to catalyze the transformation. I think there's a statutory instrument that's actually coming now. I chair the hemp and cannabis industrial working group, where we have all the government agencies, including the Medicines Control Authority of Zimbabwe, Agricultural Marketing Authority, and all the other value chain actors, and we have an active grower group.
Leading the minister through the facility, farmer Mike Quell highlighted Zimbabwe's natural advantages, good soils, climate, and the ability to grow year-round. He said beneficiation is where real economic gains lie.
Zimbabwe is, like I said, the place to grow cannabis. We've shown it, we've been cannabis for 4 years now. We've had yields of 4 times what people say we could yield. So Zimbabwe is the place for cannabis. What we need to do is value add. We have to value add on here because we basically, like I keep saying, we're the chicken feed, the chickens are getting fat outside. So we need to value add in this country because we can grow, this place is meant for it.
The Douglasdale facility already runs at full cycle, from specialized nurseries and controlled cultivation to laboratory-based extraction of high-value oils used in pharmaceuticals, wellness, cosmetics, and industrial lubricants. Industry experts also say Zimbabwe could unlock billion-dollar markets if it aggressively pursues manufacturing.
Our company has a footprint. We are Grow Farm South Africa. We do cosmetics, CBD cosmetics, and our footprint currently is over 120 stores. So we've got our products in 120 stores currently, moving very, very well. That would be cosmetics, oils, all of that stuff. But we have only touched a fraction of the market there. I mean, we're only in Johannesburg currently. We've still got Durban, Cape Town, and probably in excess of 600 to 800 stores in Joburg that we haven't even got into. Nearly every corner that you go onto has got a cannabis store open, trading, and doing very good turnover at the moment. So it's only the start to a massive industry.
Government wants cannabis value chains to align with the country's agricultural industrialization drive under Vision 20 and the National Development Strategy 2. With global demand surging, projected to surpass $200 billion United States dollars by 2030, Zimbabwe is pursuing producers to move from growing cannabis to manufacturing with cannabis. The minister's tour in Bulawayo sent a clear national message that Zimbabwe wants its cannabis growers to aim higher towards processing, innovation, and export-ready products. For ZTN Prime, I'm Andile Chuma in Bulawayo.
We now take a look at our global updates now. Experts from Africa and Latin America have expressed concern over the remarks that were made by Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi, warning that these remarks risk undermining the post-war international order and can be seen as an attempt at reviving militarism. Now, last month, Takaichi said the Chinese Central Authorities' use of force on Taiwan could constitute a survival-threatening situation for Japan and implied the possibility of armed intervention. This has now triggered widespread global condemnation, with many analysts warning that her comments could even threaten regional and global stability.
The remarks by Sanae Takaichi presents a dangerous sign of Japanese militarism revival, endangering the peace and stability of the region and the world. We are yearning for economic partnership, not to see these levels of provocation and escalations.
Now, the Central African Republic marked its Independence Day with a military parade featuring participation from UN peacekeeping forces, followed by a traditional canoe race. Their Independence Day, celebrated on 1 December, marks the country's independence from France in 1960. And military parades are a central tradition, and a canoe race provided a lively cultural element. Now, President Faustin Archange Touadera attended the event.
À travers cette parade militaire, les forces de défense et de sécurité veulent montrer à quel point ils sont rajeunis, à quel point leur matériel a été revu en os, car il y a de cela, si vous remontez à 10 ans, nous avons un effectif de 7000 hommes, mais aujourd'hui, l'armée centrafricaine, les forces armées centrafricaines ont atteint presque 30 000 hommes. Vous voyez, c'est l'occasion de faire une démonstration. Vous voyez, ils sont bien équipés, bien habillés et ils défilent la plupart avec des armes. C'est pour braver, pour dire qu'aujourd'hui l'embargo est derrière. Aujourd'hui, les forces de sécurité, vous voyez, la présence de nos frères d'armes de la MINUSCA, c'est la solidarité. Vous voyez la parade de nos avions militaires. Vous voyez, c'est-à-dire le parc avion a été rajeuni, voilà, en une décennie. Vous voyez, donc c'est une démonstration de force pour prouver que les forces de défense et de sécurité centrafricaines sont désormais prêtes à prendre leur destinée en main.
Now, if you are still putting together your Christmas travel plans, this might be of interest to you. The world's first hotel inside airplanes, 8 double rooms with balconies, jacuzzis, state-of-the-art bathrooms and air conditioning, is located in the city of Oncativo, Argentina. Now, the 3 airplanes belonged to the airline Southern Winds, which stopped operating 2 decades ago after an international drug trafficking scandal.
La verdad que la idea surge en un momento inesperado. Me ofrecen los aviones y automáticamente pensé en hacer un proyecto para poderlos reciclar. E intenté pensar qué podía hacer inmediatamente. Primero hice uno que es para evento y boliche bailable, y después la idea era con los otros 2 aviones hacer los hoteles.
And still on our global updates, the Ministry of Culture in the Syrian interim government has announced the recovery of 1,234 archaeological tablets and 198 artifacts, which have now been returned to the Idlib Museum. Now, the collection, spanning ancient civilizations that once flourished across Syrian territory, was retrieved through what officials described as purely national efforts.
نحن سعداء اليوم ضمن أفراح وأعراس التحرير أن تعيش إدلب حالة استثنائية، وهي استعادة 1234 رقيم مسماري إضافة إلى 1189 قطعة أثرية مختلفة المادة والنوع. هذه القطع هي من مقتنيات متحف إدلب الذي تعرض لنهب أو فقدان بعض القطع منه.
Those were your global updates this Friday evening. Now, shortly after the break in business, we'll give you something on Zimbabwe's rail infrastructure.
This is AFCON, my friend. Everything is the competition. Everything.
So here they come for the opening game, and away we are here at the African Cup of Nations.
Join our family meeting from the 21st of December to the 18th of January. Purchase the decoder for $30. AFCON 2025, live on SuperSport.
Join the Ministry of Finance, Economic Development and Investment Promotion, the Confederation of Zimbabwe Industries and Zim Papers for a special edition of the post-budget breakfast meeting. The symposium takes place on Monday, 8 December 2025 at Golden Conifer in Harare, and on Monday, 15 December 2025 at the Rainbow Hotel in Bulawayo. Both sessions begin at 8 a.m. This is your chance to engage key stakeholders, unpack the national budget, and explore business and policy implications for 2026. The Honorable Minister of Finance, Professor Mthuli Ncube, will lead the discussion. For more details and registration, contact the numbers provided on your screens. Don't miss this opportunity to shape the economic conversation.
A look at our business updates. Zimbabwe is planning a significant transformation of its rail infrastructure under a $3 billion development and upgrade program during the National Development Strategy 2, NDS2. That's the implementation period of 2026 to 2030. That's according to the NDS2 policy document, which states Zimbabwe's medium-term economic blueprint. The largest planned investments includes the upgrade of the Mutare-Harare-Chirundu rail line and the 217-kilometer new railway line linking Lions Den in Zimbabwe to Kafue in Zambia at an estimated $1.2 billion between 2027 and 2030, according to the NDS2. And Zimbabwe's planned rail system investments during NDS2 are designed to strengthen SADC interconnectivity and improve north-south trade. Eben Mabunda now joins us for insights on the rail projected spend. Good evening, Eben. What's the significance of this planned expenditure?
Well, good evening. $3 billion between 2026 and 2030, split into these categories. Of course, $1.2 billion linking Lions Den and Kafue in Zambia. We're also looking at $500 million linking Manize plant there with the market, as well as another $500 million on the NRZ infrastructure, looking at the locomotives, looking at fiber optic connectivity, looking at even passenger coaches within that particular bracket. And that's, of course, the bigger chunk of the $3 billion. Of note is that this is expected to reduce the cost of doing business in Zimbabwe, because when rail is functional, it means that the cost of transportation goes down, because you don't have now to make do with the fuel cost. You're then looking at the cost of rail, of moving goods from one point to the other, which is what was there. This is the system that used to keep Zimbabwe's economy, manufacturing economy up. So this would be a boon and an effort to try and resuscitate this kind of transportation and reduce eventually the cost of doing business in Zimbabwe.
Thanks, Eben. Now talk to us about the options of financing at play here.
As it stands, in as far as the NDS2 is concerned, of course, there will be funding that will be coming from the Fiscus. There will be funding that will be coming from the Mutapa Investment Fund. There is reference made by the minister in the economic blueprint that speaks to public-private partnerships. We await further guidance in terms of what will be the nitty-gritties of that kind of arrangement. But of course, we might have to look at options of having private contractors who get onto this particular bandwagon, double in trande, of course, where that is concerned, and looking at establishing partnerships where we get to pay private players perhaps over 10-15 years, as we have seen in the road infrastructure in the past. At the same time, it would also be necessary to be considering the flotation of certain bonds. Treasury has spoken about the possibility of some bonds being floated on the Victoria Falls Stock Exchange. It's been 2 years in the pipeline. It's yet to see the light of day. But such kind of initiatives could help in terms of bridging the infrastructure funding gap that exists, of course, in Zimbabwe's borders.
Thank you very much, Eben, for sharing your insights on the rail infrastructure. Have a good evening. Now, moving on to other business news, South Africa's mobile giant Vodacom has agreed to acquire a controlling stake in Kenya's Safaricom in a deal worth $2 billion United States dollars, extending its reach across Africa. And under the plan, Kenya's government will sell a 15% stake, while Vodafone will release an additional 5%. This will lift Vodacom's shareholding from 35% to 55%, and the move comes as Kenya seeks to raise revenue through asset sales. Now, Safaricom, the largest telecoms firm in East Africa, also operates in Ethiopia and runs the leading mobile money platform, M-Pesa, which accounts for over 40% of its profit. And this takeover strengthens its African footprint and opens new growth opportunities in digital and financial services. Now moving on, Ghana's consumer inflation fell to 6.3% year-on-year in November 2025, down from 8% in October, marking the 11th consecutive monthly decline from its December 2022 peak of 54%. Now the drop is driven by lower food inflation and stabilizing domestic and external markets. The Bank of Ghana has cut its benchmark interest rate to 18%, a 350 basis point reduction, reflecting confidence in the economic recovery. Now, debt restructuring is ongoing under International Monetary Fund guidelines, with Ghana aiming for a primary budget surplus of 1.5% of GDP by 2026. And this marks a significant turnaround from 24% inflation in December 2024 and previous fiscal challenges. Stay tuned for entertainment updates.
Festive is here, Shah. First Street lights up, and suddenly the vibe is back. It stretches from Harare to Hollywood, even to Old Trafford. Jesse Jiri Festive. All I want this festive season? The stories that keep us hooked. The ngoma, the rhythm, the laughter, the drama, the goals, the world-class entertainment that brightens up the holidays for the whole family. All I want is DSTV.
In a world where music transcends boundaries, where rhythm and melody unite the hearts of people, comes a show that celebrates the power of music like never before. Get ready to dive into a sonic journey that will leave you mesmerized and yearning for more. Welcome to the captivating world of Z Vibes. Vibe to it, baby.
Hwange Colliery Company Limited is set to close the year by celebrating and uplifting local talent through the inaugural Zim Rumba Dance Fiesta that's scheduled for Saturday at Mavela Secondary School in Cholocho. Now, this event, designed to identify and nurture emerging talent in the rumba genre, will allow upcoming artists to perform before some of the region's finest acts, including Kolisi Mr. Bones, Clement Makwaza, Insimbi Zejwane, Amatonga Mahle, Zinja Ziamluma, and Sizwa Nkwejani Band. Now, Hwange Colliery Company Limited is hosting the festival under its entertainment revival strategy, and that's a program aimed at strengthening arts, culture, and community engagement in Matabeleland North, where the mine operates. Now, December is undoubtedly an eventful month on the calendar as the festive season gains momentum, and a variety of activities typically bring together old friends and new acquaintances after months apart, dominating the entertainment scene. And these events often set the tone for what to expect during the joyous season. This weekend marks the beginning of a series of entertainment events. Top South African gospel stars Rebecca Malope and her counterpart Sipho Makabane will headline the Grateful Experience concert set for Saturday at the HICC. The event will feature an array of local acts including Eliana Makombe, Spiwe Ndebele, Elad and Sharon Cherai, Michael Mahendere, Tekshwa Zama, and Nyasha Mtonori, among others. The late Oliver Tukum Tukuzi's legacy in showbiz will be celebrated this evening at Pakarepaye in Norton, albeit posthumously. His life and legacy will be honored through performances by Feli Nandi, Killer T, Baba Harare, Kruna Bennett, and the Black Spirits. Sungura King Alec Macheso will entertain the rural folk in Lion's Den tonight as he welcomes the weekend with song and dance. Located 25 kilometers northwest of Chinoi, the show will take place at Mkhanya Beer Hall, and he returns to the capital on Saturday for another performance at Kasi Kasi Beer Hall in Mapuku. And then on Sunday, he will host a family show at Steakhouse in Waterfalls, Harare. Coming up is sport. The 2025 Castle Lager Premier Soccer League Soccer Stars of the Year banquet promises to be a spectacular event celebrating the best talents in Zimbabwean football. Now, this annual occasion brings together top players, coaches and officials in the local football scene to honor the most outstanding performances of the year. At this year's banquet, the key highlight will be the announcement of the Soccer Star of the Year. That's an award that recognizes the player who has had the most significant impact on the field throughout the 2025 PSL season. And the nominees for this prestigious honor have been shortlisted based on their exceptional performances, leadership and contributions to their teams in the domestic top flight. And a number of players like Emmanuel Ziocha, Emmanuel Jalai, Kelvin Moyo, as well as Taimon Machope are among the favorites heavily tipped to walk away with the top gong. Additionally, the Coach of the Year, Rookie of the Year, and Goalkeeper of the Year awards will also be presented. Each category showcases the stellar talent and the hard work that has gone into the season. In other sports news, Highlanders Football Club has lined up a series of activities in preparation for the club's upcoming centenary celebrations. These events are designed to honor the team's 100-year legacy, engage supporters, and showcase the club's rich history that also goes beyond football. Highlanders board member Noto Monyati says the club has lined up a number of activities that cut across all sporting codes, as well as cater for both genders, and called on corporates to come on board and rally behind the club.
So as we have had, we're going to have the cultural and heritage event. We're going to have soccer spectacular. We're going to have football challenge. We're going to have music festival. We're going to have the wellness tournaments. We're going to have youth, ladies, netball, volleyball, rugby, basketball. Yes, basketball. Highlanders has got also is involved also in basketball. We are also planning to have a challenge match for the legends, Omatina Njogo, Alexander Masego, with other legends, which we're going to share as we move. Then we're going to also to have the golf day. We are going to have the gala dinner, the art gallery also, and the magazine. So it's just repeating what has been said. We've got so much that we are going to be having, and all these things that we are planning, their success is going to happen because of the support that we're going to get from the corporate.
Now, Nyati is grateful for the support they have received from the corporate world, as it plays a huge role in the growth and success of the club.
So thank you so much to all the corporates who are here, and I'm already, as part of the events committee, we're already looking at seeing different corporates playing a role starting from today. And the team who are here, from the executive to, the events, the planning committee, we will make sure that when the corporates come on board, as Highlanders, it is known that each corporate who comes to Highlanders, when he goes out, he goes with a massive appreciation, because the Highlanders, they order. So what we promise you is visibility, what we promise you is professionalism, and what we promise you is that going forward, we go beyond football, and we believe that we're going also beyond 2026. We already seeing that this partnership with Soyenza and lining up is going to go for years and years to come, but we start in 2026.
The 2025 domestic football season might be over, but the bond between football clubs and their communities remains active. And today, players from both Herentals FC and Herentals Queens took part in a cleanup campaign in Waterfalls. Herentals FC captain Blessing Majarira said this was part of their effort to give back to their supporters who stood with them throughout the season.
It's good for area to keep our area clean. It's good for the country to keep our areas clean, and for the community to keep it clean. As the Herentals FC, we are giving back to the community. if you see, these are the people, those who come to stadium to support us. So we don't have much to give back to them. So we just come here to clean the area so that we will mingle with some of the supporters.
And Herento's Queen's captain, Tabitha Mutiniri, who led her side to a 4th straight league title, highlighted the importance of players as role models in encouraging cleanliness in the community.
So chakakoshera ndokukurudzira nekuencourage vanhu chakakoshera clean up ndechekuti zvingava zvirwere zvichii zvese as long as hedu iri clean nepese patinogara kudzimba dzedu pese pakachengetedzeka pane zvakanaka zvinoitika hapana chirwere chitachiwana usingatibate kana kutorera zvanani sesu mazimbabwe ndozvinzi hatizvibati munyika yedu inonzogara ichiitika chakachengetedzeka saka ndikuencourage nevari kumba kuti marara musarasire pese pese ngava masitisi meima munogara uye muchichengetedzeka muchisoma renyu mabhini even pese pamunofamba ingofamba munhu uri smart uri clean.
In other sports news, the Zimbabwe senior women's netball team are back from Scotland, where they were taking part in the 2025 edition of the Celtic Cup. The side now shifts their attention to the African Netball Cup, which gets underway from the 8th to the 14th of December in Lilongwe, Malawi. The Gems will seek to improve last year's performance, which saw the team stun better ranked Malawi to win bronze.
We are just back from the Celtic Cup, Glasgow in Scotland, where we went on the 20th of November. We had a very exciting tournament. We played 5 games, we won 2 and lost 3. But from what has just happened, the games that we played have propelled the position for Zimbabwe Netball Association from 13 to 12. We are number 12 in the world.
And Gems head coach Rupafadzo Mtsauki is delighted by the progress shown by his charges and hopes that they will be able to give their all on the court during the African Netball Championships. Moving on to chess, Zimbabwe is set to host the 16th edition of the annual African Youth Chess Championships, which get underway this Sunday in the capital. Now, the Zimbabwe Chess Federation are confident that they have done all that is required of them ahead of the continental showpiece that will feature 17 African countries.
So the African Youth Chess Championship 16th edition is ready to take place. Everything is now in place and we're going to be hosting it here at Dominican Convent Arena, where it's going to be played. We are more than prepared now to make sure that this event goes on well. We have the arbiters arriving into the country. We've got the 17 nations in participation.
Now, confidence is high in the Team Zimbabwe camp as the captain believes that players have what it takes to get favorable results on home turf.
So much effort into preparing for this tournament. I know my coach, Mr. Kaoba, has been vigorously helping us practice for this tournament, and I am confident that as a country we are capable of hosting this tournament and maybe winning. I believe in the efforts that they have been putting in. I've seen it myself when I play games with them. I see the excitement for the tournament, and I'm very confident that we can come out with something very big from this tournament.
I think our team is very ready to host this event. I see there's been a lot of improvement in terms of...
And that's a wrap on Newsplus this Friday evening. Thank you very much for joining us. My name is Wadzanai Sansole. Have a great weekend.